Are you ready to organize your kitchen in 2023? Well, then today's video is for you. I'm sharing with you my top 20 favorite Amazon organization items and kitchen essentials that you need. They make such a difference. They make everything flow a little better, and I use them all the time. So most of all, I hope this video helps you out. If it does, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's get to it. First up is this can organizer. You can use this for any type of canned goods, and it comes in 4 pieces. So the back part is like shaped like a U, and then it comes with 3 shelves, and then you just attach them. It's super easy. And then they have these little dividers that if you want to keep your cans separated, you can do that, but it holds so much and it's really sturdy. It's not flimsy at all, and you can see that it holds the really large cans of beans and stuff. It holds the smaller ones, and then you can also stack different cans on there as well. It really utilizes a small amount of space and makes it work for you. I didn't think it was going to hold as much as it does, and it definitely cut down on the space. So you're looking for a good space saver, this is great, and it holds squared jars as well, and then you just load it from the side. I'm really happy with it, and you can actually pick it up and move it. It is heavy, and you could probably work in a cabinet as well. And then second up are these under the shelf wire shelves. Basically, I got these years ago. They work so well. You can put bins in them, you can put snacks in them, but it really utilizes that space, especially if you're stuck with permanent shelving. This is one that I found actually at the Dollar Tree years ago, and they might still have it, I'm not sure, but it works great for canned goods and utilizing a small amount of space. Number 3 is this spice/vitamin holder. This is awesome. I love this. This actually goes in your cabinet. You can put it in your pantry. It just works so good. It comes with labels as well. It's got little grippies on the bottom, so it really does not move on you. And you would think it'd be flimsy. It's not. It will hold quite a bit. And I like that you can adjust the shelves on it, so you can stack it 2 or 3 high or just 1 high if you want. This can be used and utilized for so many different things in your home, not just spices or medicine, but you could use it for makeup, you could use it for vitamins. And speaking of vitamins, I want to take a moment and thank Ritual for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Ritual is a multivitamin made for men and women. They also have a prenatal line as well. Now, one thing I like about them though is that they're non-GMO, they're vegan, they third-party test, and they use 9 traceable ingredients, so you know exactly where the ingredients are coming from for your multivitamin, and you know exactly what you're putting in your body. They also don't use any artificial colorants. I also like that you can see what's in the capsule itself. The women's multivitamin is mint flavored, and I've been taking them I think around 3 years now since we moved into this house, and I just feel really good when I take them, and they're really easy on the stomach. All you take are 2 little capsules a day. So if you're looking for a multivitamin to help with the foundational part of your health, definitely give Ritual a try, because it's going to support your brain, your blood, and also your bones, and antioxidant support in your body. And right now they are giving my viewers 20% off their first order. You can use the code MOMMA20 to get that. I will have a link in the description box below, or you can type this into your browser and it will take you there, and you guys can save. They do offer a subscription service, which you can change or cancel at any time. So if you're out of town or something, you can make it be flexible to your schedule and stuff. Definitely be sure to give Ritual a try. I think you guys will really like them. Like I said, I've been taking them for almost 3 years now, and I really like the way they help support my body. You can use the code MOMMA20 for 20% off your first order. Moving on to number 4 in my kitchen organizers that you need is this foam tape. It doesn't stick or anything, so it's really renter friendly, but you just measure your drawer. You can go either direction with it and cut it with scissors. It's got this lip, which is the part that faces up, and then you just cut however many strips of it you need. You line up your spices the way you want to, and it holds them in place. I ended up moving them out just a little bit so I could have finger space in between to grab them, but if you shake the drawer, slam it shut, they don't move. It's wonderful. I wish I would have found this sooner, and it works for square and round jars as well. Any size that you need, you can again run it either way, but it makes such a difference and nothing is going to break. So if you're looking for a spice organizer for your drawer, this is definitely the way to go. Number 5 is this lid organizer. You can use this for various things though, but I really like it again because it's adjustable and it holds all the lids in place, and it works in a drawer. It can work in the upper cabinet if you want to. It can even go in a container if you wanted to, but I really like how easy it is to organize my space. Next up are these gallon jars. These worked great for water glassing eggs, and they just have a really nice seal on the very top so it doesn't rust or anything. My friend uses it for her kombucha, so definitely recommend these. They come in a couple different sizes, I believe, as well. Next up, number 7 is this drawer organizer. I use this for underneath the sink because it's breathable. It has all the holes, so if something gets wet, it can dry itself, and it just works really well. You can adjust the brackets however you need to, and it's pretty sturdy, and I just really like it. I've used it for a couple of years now. Another great organizer for the kitchen is a Lazy Susan. You can pick these up in the Target dollar section if you want to, or you can make your own, but these work really good underneath the sinks as well as in cabinets. And then of course a divided Lazy Susan is awesome, especially for snacks and different items that you might be using. My favorite kitchen essentials that you absolutely need is a scale. This goes for so many different things, but if you love to bake, a scale is going to help you out, but it also works for other things. This one's really nice because it turns off after 2 minutes of you not using it, but it also zeroes out after you have a weight on it and things. You can change it from pounds, milligrams, grams, ounces and things, so it's really useful and it's really affordable. And I've had this I think for 2.5 years now, and I've used it a couple times a week, and I have never replaced the battery on it, so the battery life on it is really good. Another item that you need are cutting boards. This one is really cool because it actually folds up, so if you have a smaller space and you need something that's a little more compact, this cutting board is awesome because it's made out of bamboo, which lasts a really long time, but it's bendable. And the nice part about this is when you're done chopping something, you can just curve it and push it right in, especially with vegetables and stuff. Instead of having to scoop it up and put it in, you can just whoop, toss it right into the pan and you're good to go. This is really nice and I'm really happy with this one. It just works really well, and I just like how compactable it is. So if I want to take it with me traveling on a road trip, I totally can. Number 11 are these silicone Ziploc bags that come in multiple sizes. They're great because you can label them. They're great for traveling, but they hold a whole loaf of bread, keep things fresh, and they're reusable, so they last so much longer than the other ones. So these are really nice stackable shelves. I think that they're really heavy duty. They're nicer than any of the other ones I've ever tried. They're super stiff and just a nice metal. They are coated. You just have to prop in each of the legs. They stack on each other. They look wobbly, but they're actually quite stiff and they lock into place, and they will hold the weight of dishes. You just can't put really large plates underneath on the bottom, but they're very sturdy and they don't flex. All right, this next kitchen essential is just such a game changer. It's so easy to use and it actually works. It's a strainer that clips onto your pans. It is adjustable, it's silicone, and it works so good. So even after pouring out the water from my pasta, wherever else I'm doing potatoes, I can still touch it and it is not hot. So it's really user friendly, especially if you have little ones in the kitchen that are helping out. This is a great item, and it's easily washed and it stores so much smaller than a regular colander. So if you haven't got yourself on that, grab it. I believe it comes in a few different colors as well. So if you don't want gray, go for another one. Actually a new addition to our home, and I could not be happier with it. It has worked so well, and I'm kind of wondering why I waited so long to get it. But it is this stone spice grinder masher. I really like this. It comes in a couple different sizes as well. I'll put the size that I have up here on the screen because I can't remember what size I got, but it works so well. You can make guacamole and things like that in it, but this is great for mashing your garlic and things like that, and really blending your spices and stuff together, making a nice concoction for the food that you're making in the kitchen. And plus it's really pretty to just leave out on the counter when you're not using it. It might come in a few different colors as well, but it's a nice granite. It's polished on the outside. It's just beautiful, and it comes with a felt pad for the bottom, so nothing will get scratched or anything like that. But I am so happy I finally got one of these because it's one of those items that you can pass down from generation to generation. Next up is the adjustable bamboo silverware tray, and then there are also their drawer dividers. These are great because you can make the drawer work for your needs. They come in multiple sizes and colors. This knife organizer actually came from IKEA, but there are a few on Amazon as well. But I really like this. It just utilizes the space so much better for organizing the silverware drawer. Is this corn cob cutter. This works great. Now if you're using raw corn, you're gonna want to shimmy it side to side, kind of twist it to get it off. If the corn is cooked, then you can just slide it all the way down. But this works really well. It doesn't take a ton of effort at all. Again, this was a raw corn, so that's why I'm twisting it, but it definitely keeps you from getting it in your teeth as much, and it takes off almost all the corn and doesn't leave much behind at all. So it works really good. It's one of those gadgets I was really happy to get this last summer. If you've got brown sugar in your house, then you need to have these clay blocks. They work wonderfully. You can buy them individually in a multi-pack, but all you do is soak them in water and then put them in to your jar. You can put it straight in the bag if you want to, but it keeps the brown sugar from getting hard. It's so cool and it works great. Next are stackable cooling racks. These I've had for over a decade. They're really good quality. I like them a lot. And again, I like that they stack on themselves, so it takes up less space if you are baking or don't have a ton of counter space. Amazon does have ones that fully collapse on themselves, so you just have to find what works best for you. But these store up really small because they, again, just collapse, and so they're easy to put in the cabinet for whenever you need them. Next are these scoops. You can use them for ice cream, for making cookies. They're really versatile. I have them in a couple different styles and sizes, which is really nice. I've kind of collected them over the years, but they're just a really useful tool. Along with a pastry cutter, this one works really good. I like that the handle's rubber, so it's not as hard on your palm, but it's just essential when you're doing pies and biscuits and things. Now I want to share with you a really easy recipe. It can be a one-pot meal, which is the type I like to make. I use 2 dried peppers and then 2 garlic cloves. I mash those together, but you can chop them, whatever works for you and what you utilize, whatever you have in the kitchen. And then I add 3 frozen chicken thighs to the pan, let those cook. I add a can of fire roasted tomatoes to it. You get your pasta going, and then I add in about a teaspoon of oregano to the chicken. Then add in 1 can of your favorite pasta sauce. I add in some basil, and then I chop up the chicken after it's been cooked, and I will add that back into the pot, and then you will just let those flavors simmer together. Then you'll add in about a half cup of mozzarella and a couple shavings of Parmesan. Really good. I like to add more cheese at the end, and it gets kind of gooey, and then you'll add in your cooked pasta. You can cook it in the same pot, but completely up to you. It out, and then I top it with some more mozzarella or Parmesan. I season it with salt and pepper, and it's just really easy. It's a quick meal, but it has so much flavor in it. So I hope you and your family enjoy this. Now I wanted to share with you how I make my sourdough sandwich bread. So I use half a cup of einkorn flour with half a cup of water to make my leaven, and I also feed my starter with that. So what I'm adding in now is a tablespoon or 2 of my starter that is nice and active, and then I mix those 2 together, and then I will put a lid on that and let that get all bubbly and active. You want it to at least double in size, if not triple. That can take anywhere between 8 and 14 hours depending on the temperature of your house. Mine's usually around 70. When your leaven is ready, then you're going to start making the actual bread. So I use a little over 2 cups of water. You're going to want around 490 grams of that. Then you're going to add that beautiful leaven. You can see all the bubbles. It's active and it should float. You don't want it to sink. You're going to combine that. It'll be roughly between 225 and 250, somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be exact. Never is for me. And then you're going to add some whipping cream or some whole milk or something. I usually do about 40 grams of this. And then I'm going to add in another like 30 or 40 grams of water. If you're using just whole milk, then just add about 90 grams of milk to that. You're going to mix this. I really like this tool. Works really good if you're making bread. This is the flour that I use. I get it from Costco. It comes in a 20 pounds set, and it just works well. I use around 6 cups of flour, and it's usually around 850 or 900 grams, so somewhere in there as well. So it's just going to depend on the flour, how much everything weighs, and you're just going to bring that all together, and then you're going to let this sit for about 10-15 minutes and let all the flour absorb the water. It makes a difference letting it sit for a few minutes. Once that's done sitting, you're going to add 20 grams of salt to this, and you're going to add a little bit of water to just make it easier to distribute. And then you're going to add that, and you're going to work it in with your hands and combine it. And it's amazing what the salt does to the flour. It just brings it all together. It's almost instantaneously easier to handle. It's crazy. But you're going to want to make sure your hands are wet for this. That way the dough doesn't stick to you. Now you are not kneading this, you're just incorporating the salt. After you've done that for just a few minutes, you're going to cover it for around 30 minutes, just with the lid on or saran wrap or something. And then you're going to come back to it and you're going to start your stretch and folds. I usually do this at least 3 times, if not 4, because this is usually done at nighttime for me. So I will just use one hand, you can use 2, and you're just going to stretch up each side once and fold it over. You're making sure that it's not ripping either, but you're adding strength to the dough and activating the gluten and everything in it. You're going to do this and you're going to let it sit for another 30 minutes and then come back to it and stretch and fold it one more time. The more you do it, the more stretchy it gets. You can kind of see here, and it will get puffy and everything. After your 3rd or 4th time, you're going to pop it in the fridge covered and let that sit overnight. In the morning, put it out on the counter and let it come to room temperature-ish for about 2 or 3 hours. Next, you are going to get 2 normal size loaf pans and butter those. If you have glass ones, use that. Now we're going to stretch the dough as far out as we can after we divide it into 2 pieces. You can weigh them if you want to. I never do, but don't rip it. Try your best just to stretch it. It's really fun actually and very satisfying. Into a long rectangle, and then you're going to fold it in half from the long side, and then you're going to fold that shorter side in and just roll it up together. Very simple. And then you're going to put it into the loaf pan. This is a normal sandwich loaf here. And then we're also going to be making a cinnamon and sugar one. It's just a nice treat. You can do this with normal sourdough as well, but I wanted to show you how I do it with a loaf style. So I'm doing the same thing, stretching it into a long rectangle, and then I'm going to spread brown sugar. I don't go super thick with this because it oozes out a little bit, but I do a thin layer, and then I do some cinnamon on there as well. And then you're going to fold it the same exact way you did before, and then you're just going to add some more sugar and some cinnamon to it. You can use whatever you want. You could do cheese in here, raisins, whatever. Raisins look like puffed up blueberries though when they're done. Now this step, when you roll it, you can add more. I did not, so it just depends on your preference. This makes it plenty sweet though, and you're just going to put it in the pan just like that. You're going to spray the tops with some oil or something so that your saran wrap does not stick. It's really important that it doesn't stick. Leave it out on the counter for almost all day, usually 6 hours or so in a nice warm spot. And then I pop any bubbles that come up because I don't want those in this style of bread. This is a huge one. And then just kind of patch them back together, put it in a hot oven at 425 and bake between 20 and 25 minutes. These baked for 23 minutes. Some nights it's 24, just kind of depends. But they are beautiful, and then I like to just rub butter on top so it has a nice soft crust to it. And then I put them out on a wire rack to cool. If you leave them in the pan, they'll get soggy. If you can, wait till they are fully cooled, then cut into them. I always put a little bit of parchment paper on the bottom of the cinnamon sugar one so it doesn't stick to everything. But the loaves are not dry at all. They're soft and squishy and fluffy and really good. Tons of flavor. And I hope you'll be able to make these sourdough sandwich loaves with your family. I hope you enjoyed seeing what my top 20 Amazon organization and kitchen essentials were in today's video. I hope you found it helpful, maybe deciding what you may need or maybe what you want to add to your kitchen, make it flow a little better for you and your family. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Just tap the more button right next to the title or the arrow on the end of your screen. Let me know what your favorite kitchen organization item is and also kitchen essential in the comments below. I love hearing from you all and I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends. Definitely be sure to give Virtual a try. You can use the code MOMMA20 for 20% off your first order. And until next time, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.